What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get into it. Yesterday, I went off. I just lit the bomb. Boom, just blew it all up. Why? Because it's like when you work hard at something and put your heart into something, and right when you're getting ready to get into the game, they cancel the game. That just blows your mind. Like, why would you cancel it? Why would you stop it? All the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the sacrifice, and you give it up. Hey, Mark, how's it going, brother? I see you. What's up, Demetrius? Then you give it up. I mean, it's like fighting, and and then they just throw in the towel before you even get to throw a punch. Be like, this can't be, right? So, a good friend of mine sent me uh, a video of Lawrence O'Donnell, and I don't know. I usually agree with Lawrence O'Donnell. I don't have any real strong disagreements with him. He usually goes off on people, calls Donald Trump stupid or anything like that. So I can handle that. I watch that and be like, oh, okay, okay, somebody who's really dealing with facts and goes across the line, and he does it on cable TV. I go about a good 35 yards, further than he does, but it is what it is. As long as you're telling the truth, I'm cool with it. And you know what's so tripped is that I saw a video of Roland Martin. I think he was responding to uh, Charlemagne the God. And I didn't expect his response, but it tripped me out to realize that me and Roland Martin are on the same team. Not the fact that we already agree on certain things. I get that. But facts is his core. And it's not just something to make money. It is a part of his core. Same with me. Facts are my core. Don't come to me. I don't care how old you are, how young you are. Don't come to me with lies, because I'm going to straighten you out if I have the answer. If I don't have the answer, I'm going to listen to you with skepticism, because I'm not going to know what you're talking about, and I'm not going to jump on one side or the other until I go do my homework, do my due diligence. Then I might hit you back up. I'm like, yeah, you was right about that. Or I might hit you back up, man, that shit you were saying was straight bullshit. These are the facts. I was like, wow, that's exactly who I am. I was like, wow, man, we have a lot more in common than I knew. And some other things that we care about for the black community and things of that nature, that we really are on the same page. But that's neither here nor there. It's just something that I noticed. Well, I listened to the entire clip of Lawrence O'Donnell. I'm not going to make you listen to that whole thing, but because he goes off into this long discussion about his life, because he was a politician, and he wrote on the West Wing, and so he's kind of just like me. I'm not trying to diss him. He's long-winded on a lot of the history stuff, where you just be like, dude, you lost me 17 and what 0.3 hours ago on that topic. I mean, you 2 minutes and boom, you got it. After that, you starting to go veer off into history and where you was on it, bring back pictures of your great grandfathers or somebody. You'd be like, dude, it's too far, man. It's too far. But that's your world. People love it. I do some stuff too, but I'm just noticing it and I'm saying what I feel about it, telling the truth about what I feel. And I tell the truth about myself. I'm long-winded, have been my entire life. Ain't got no problems with it. And I can take that criticism because it's a fact. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Probably would have when I was in my 20s, but not now. At 54, I'm like, it is what it is. You feel me? But getting into it, we're going to watch like that 2 minutes or so where he tries to explain what he thinks, because he's been in that industry, politics, like what they achieved, these 7 Democrats, 1 independent, what they achieved that we don't see. And I had to do some research on what he said because he's into that. He's into the trenches of all that. And so one of the things that I have to say about it is that there's one thing to be in that industry so much that you don't see what the American citizen cares about. Not necessarily how shit in behind the scenes, works and how you pull the strings. That's your job. That's behind the scenes. We don't care about that. We want the outcome. We want the outcome. I'm not sitting here going in the McDonald's line and buying a burger and having that food tell me, I put it in there and I put it and I heat it up to 178.5 degrees and then I do this and then I throw a little mustard on it and the ketchup. Man, hand me my burger. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to know all that shit. Just hand me my burger, man. Where my fries at? They cold by the time you get finished with the damn conversation. Give them to me. Shut the fuck up. You want to leave? He does that shit. Be sitting there and fries and this and that and throw the bun on it. It's got 755 sesame seeds on it. And then you put that on there. It's heated perfectly. You see the round crust. Shut the fuck up already. You don't told us what it is. It's a burger. Give it to me. Just give it to me. That's the part that he goes off on. That's why I cut off the extra 755 minutes and just gave you like 2 or 4 because it's just too much. But I'll tell you the truth, I do the same. But let's go ahead and listen to what he has to say. We're gonna get in on it a little bit, just a little bit. Is the audio not there? This damn didn't start automatically.
First term, Donald Trump created the longest government shutdown in history, and now in his second term, Donald Trump has set the record again for the new longest government shutdown in history. The end of the government shutdown was forged when 5 Senate Democrats, and only 5, changed their position in a compromise that forced every Senate Republican to change their positions.
Okay. At this point, I was like, okay, what did they change? What did the Republicans, all those numbers he mentioned, what did they change over the 5? Because the other 2 Democrats were already traitorous and that other independent or whatever the hell he was already on their side anyway. So they were already Republican plants that live on our side. But regardless of those 3, they got 5. And I'm like, he got all the rest of them to change. So now I'm inquisitive as to what did they change? He ain't going to get to it real quick, but he'll get to it.
While it also forced Donald Trump to change his position. And it has forced every Republican member of the House of Representatives to now change their positions. So this is 5 Democrats who changed their position, and 53 Republican senators, 217 Republican House members, and 1 Republican president, a total of 271 Republicans who changed their positions and are now supporting a version of a budget bill that they said they would never support, and 5 Democrats who changed their position to vote for that same bill, which was proposed by those 5 Democrats. So who caved here? What does caved mean?
Don't go into what the definition of caved mean. At that point, you starting to like, what? How would I say? Man, political explain. You mansplaining, but in a politic way. What is the definition of cave? We all know what it means. You know what it means. So why are you trying to redefine cave? We get it. It's caved. We see caved. Where is not caved? You know what I'm saying? Where's out of the cave? To literally say, I'm out when everybody is like, I'm in, and you bounce, and 5 of you, or in total 8 of you, fuck over all millions of us. And woof, please explain to me how you're gonna redefine cave for us in this split, this diatribe of yours.
But this being Washington, the 5 changed votes on the Democratic side versus the 271 Republicans changing their position is being generally reported as the Democrats, meaning all of them, the Democrats abandoning their position. The Democrats.
You know what's so fucked up is it didn't take all of us. It just took 7 of us to fuck over all the Democrats. And because the Democrats couldn't hold these little dipshits in power to put them in reign, that's what you call whipping. You couldn't whip their asses into shape. So instead of whipping them, they just went on their own business. And if you listen to the press conference and the bullshittery they spoke today on air, Angus, whatever the fuck his last name is, Angus was out there talking about in circles. He was talking in circles. You're like, dude, you said nothing. No reason why you really did this. Oh, we wouldn't have got this anyway. We wouldn't have got that anyway. So you chose to not get it anyway. Then why don't you keep going to the point where we just don't get it? As opposed to giving up and making sure we don't get it. We have leverage. You take leverage away, and that's supposed to get us something. Who negotiates like that? I mean, seriously, if somebody came and took your kid and say, you know what, we want this money, and you can have your kid back. And your dumb ass, these 7 or 8, be like, okay, give me a little Timmy back. Give me a little Timmy back. And they're like, all right, send me the money. And your dumb ass just walk over, hand it to them, and sit there. They get in the car and take off with Timmy and the money. That is tantamount of what the fuck y'all did. Let them take Timmy and the cash, and you just sitting there on your fucking ass like, I should have rethought that one. But no, instead of that, you're all over the place saying, I think it was a good idea. Really? Timmy gone and your money gone. You got more money? They tapped you out. You broke now, and Timmy gone. That was your plan, to give up. You didn't want Timmy. You wanted to give Timmy away anyway. Okay. So that makes sense. You didn't want to raise Timmy no more. Now he got a new daddy and he got new money. You ain't got to worry about it no more. That's what you did to us. Because there is no plan to give him all the money and the child, the thing they took from you. Give it to him. They weren't going to give me nothing anyway, so. All right, let me keep going. Sorry. I get heated. Even when this dude I consider to be bright is really trying to make me like feel like I'm like some kind of just extraordinary dumbass. Like really? Really, Lawrence? You really thought that this was going to work on anybody with a brain cell?
Democrats caving, the Democrats losing the shutdown. So 5 Democrats changed their position. 271 Republicans changed their position to arrive at a compromise position. And it's reported as just the Democrats caving. Now, if we want to use the word cave
we do.
In place of the word compromise,
right?
271 Republicans, including Donald Trump, caved to just 5 Democrats.
Nope.
Not 8, just 5, because 3 Democrats were already voting with the Republicans on this.
What did they lose, Lawrence O'Donnell? You haven't got to this part yet, because when you cave, you lose. What did the Republicans lose? Let's get to that point there. Come on now. Come on. Bring it. Bring the receipts. What did the Democrats win? Because if they didn't win anything, that means they lost. And when you cave in something, that means when you're compromising, you're arguing over something, debating over something. If you get nothing and lose, when you have all the chips, then you caved. You have all the momentum. You beat their asses politically. You had 7 million people come out against them with no kings. You got other groups out there today, the military people, all against like Donald Trump and his stuff. They're out there marching on Veterans Day. And to all those veterans, shout out to you. I love y'all. Thank you for your service. You got them out there going against this entire regime and putting these military people on the street. All that hate. I don't know how many people were doing that today, but I saw a lot. I don't know what the number was. And that's just today. And then you're talking about prior to 40 days. 40 days. Even in the Bible, they promised some shit after 40 days. What'd you get for 40 days? You saying they gave up something. I'm waiting to hear it. You have the floor. Lawrence O'Donnell, give us what we got behind the door of Democrats. What did we win? What did we win? What did we win? I'm looking for it.
271 Republicans changed their position to accept the demands of 5 Democrats that created the 60-vote majority in the Senate to pass a bill. And what did those Democrats achieve?
Thank you.
Well, those 5 Democrats forced Republicans, including Donald Trump, to agree to, first of all, they forced Donald Trump, who's been trying to stop funding supplemental nutrition assistance, to increase funding for food stamps. Increase it.
Hold on for a second. You mean these funds that was already promised to them, they got them back because Donald Trump keeps putting them on hold. We got back the funds in which they already had. And this increase, where did you see that at? I looked through it. I didn't see anything. Maybe you know something more because he's in politics. All I saw was that they opened it back up to them. I didn't see no increase. And even him, he doesn't give you a percentage. They increased. What percentage was it? What percentage of increase? They giving him more money because it's like average was like 155 or something like that or something of that nature. So what, did they give him 200? What's going on? No details. Just saying they increased. I didn't see the increase part, but maybe he looked through it and read something. I don't know, but I did research today and I couldn't find an increase, but let's just give it to them. But they gave them SNAP in which they already fucking had. They took it from them. The government was saying the judicial branch is like, give them their fucking money. And they keep putting it on a stay. Give them their fucking money. And they say, oh, we will. Money starts. Up, stop. Put it on a stay. They've been fucking with America's money. And we stopped it so people can get $155 a month. Whereas our health care is going to go up twice minimum. And some people 300% and 400%. So you got 75? And they're going to lose their health care? Oh boy. Woo! Whoopee. That's tantamount of me giving somebody a salad and saying, you know what? Let me take that back. Let me just give you the raisin on that bitch. You don't get the rest of the salad. Enjoy your raisin. That's what you... This man literally, seriously, you think a win is giving somebody a raisin when they had a whole fucking salad? Just take the raisin. You ain't got nothing. Here raisin is, and we did you solid.
That is not nothing. The 5 Democrats who changed their position managed to not just guarantee supplemental nutrition assistance funding for almost a year, but they actually got it increased. And no Republican wanted to do that. Donald Trump didn't want to do that. No Republicans wanted that. So they caved, if that's the word we're going to use, on that. The Republicans did.
Okay. So the increase, I'm going to look it up. I want to see how much it increased because I really, how much did the Democrats I don't know where he got it from. Don't see an increase. Maybe it's something he read I don't know about, can't find. But I don't see an increase. But we'll take his word for it. But I would rather have stats. I'm gonna keep looking. But the increase, don't know what it is yet. We'll see. Keep on going.
And all the Republicans are caving to that demand by those 5 Democrats for their votes. That's one of the things the 5 Democrats got for their votes. The 5 Democrats also obtained a guarantee to rehire every federal worker Donald Trump has fired during the government shutdown, every one of them.
Okay. So this man just said he got back the jobs. Every one of these jobs are the federal workers, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, that were fired during the shutdown. We do understand like 1 million of these people have been fired or some crazy high ass number, and 1 million jobs have been lost or some shit, right? And you're talking about during the shutdown, which they he even says in a way, this is unprecedented. They have never fired federal workers during a shutdown, ever. Donald Trump and his MAGA minion leaders decided to create a different type of leverage. So they fired workers so that they would have an additional leverage to get stuff back. And some weak, feckless Democrats would end up saying, oh, there's 4,000. They fired 50, 60,000 the first time Doge even started. What was you doing trying to keep their jobs? You're talking about 4,000 jobs. You're talking about millions of Americans. 50, 60, 70 million easily. And you're focusing that want this to continue going down the road. 70% of Americans, I would say. And you're talking about 4,000 jobs they got back. Oh, they want something. Boy, if you don't shut the fuck up, what the hell you talking about 4,000 people for 40 days, 39 nights? You telling me you got 4,000 jobs back? And that's a win.
$4,000 people will get their jobs back, and they will get back pay because of this compromise that 5 Senate Democrats forced on 271 Republicans, including Donald Trump.
They automatically get their money back if they was working prior to the shutdown. They were going against protocol to do this, and they created leverage by effing people's lives up additionally to get what they wanted, which is meaning to F up millions of lives. You traded millions of people on healthcare, ACA, for 4,000 people. And you want us to be like celebratory. Do you hear yourself? I mean, did you after the show, did you go watch this shit you just said? Because I honestly don't believe you watched it. Because if you had watched it, you would realize I just said some dumbass shit here. I went out to protect my friends who are in politics because I'm cool with these little dipshit head ass people who fucked us over. I like them. They're good people. I didn't say we don't give a shit if they're good. They might be good dads and moms, but politicians, they are trash. In negotiating, I'd rather negotiate with a fucking terrorist. These dipshits literally saw they were getting nothing in return and decided to get back what was stolen since the damn thing started. Never mind the fact the fight was over healthcare. That was the main fight. Did you not see Schumer go out there and say, we're going to fight for you, and they want to take your health care away, and da. You know what we say about that? Fuck that. And he had a little exclamation, and then the fuck was that, but he said, fuck that. Senator, boy, he got out there and did all that. Commercials and everything. And you guys turned on that shit. And here we got Lawrence O'Donnell literally putting up a shield for people talking about their job is hard. Man, fuck that. It is not hard to say no. It isn't. They say it to us all the time. Can we get free healthcare? Nope. Can we get this? Nope. Can we get that? Nope. All the time they say no to us. Who won in this? They didn't. Their careers are over. They know it. And none of them are really running again. So you got the people who aren't running again all of a sudden deciding to F up the last part of their career. Something about this kind of shady. Something about this says that Democrats as leaders chose them to do what they wanted to do, because I don't see nobody really hot about this other than the guy who that is upset, that is working on the Epstein files. That's the only guy that I saw that went off on Senator Schumer and his party, those people who did. That's the only one. I ain't seen anybody else. Maybe I missed him, but I ain't seen nobody else. Insane. Covering up for people who effed up. I would rather you say, yeah, they effed up, but you know what? They got something. That to me is despicable, but it makes sense. They did get something, but really it was nothing, because it was shit that should have never been taken to begin with. Because getting money back they were already owed, getting a job back when they never should have been fired, they had no just cause to be fired. And once the place opened back up, they could have sued to get their jobs back. And that has already worked in courts where they've had to give people jobs back because they fired them for no reason. They fired these people just because we had a shutdown. They didn't do any cause. The jobs that when you have a federal job, they have to fire you for cause. What's the cause? They had no cause. They did nothing wrong. The government shut down, not their fault. So to give them what they was going to give back no matter what deal we had came up with, at the end of this shutdown, those people are going to get their jobs back. Those people are going to get their pay. Whether we open back up now or we open back up December 15th, they were getting their pay. So to me, that's a non-starter to tell me that people got back what they was going to get back anyway when this ended. Boy.
The compromise also forces Donald Trump to deliver back pay to all federal workers, every one of them affected by the Trump shutdown, something Donald Trump was trying to avoid. Donald Trump.
He's still going to avoid it, you dipshit. You know what he's going to do? He's going to go to court. And he's going to say, I was under due pressure. I shouldn't have to do this. There's nothing written in stone, which they don't have anything written in stone. These are all like promises. And therefore, they don't really have to do it. And they'll take it to court, and I promise you these people won't get their jobs back. If Donald Trump didn't want it and the Republicans weren't fighting for it, these people never keep their promises. So how is it that they got them? Once these people go back to work, then you can say they got them. But I think you guys got suckered. I don't see how you trust the devil and think it's going to give you actually what it says it's going to give you.
Was trying to become the first president in history to deny back pay to every government worker affected by the shutdown. Mm-hmm. And those 5 Democratic senators got that back pay guaranteed. That is not nothing. They got something.
No.
Something.
No.
They didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get everything. They didn't get the big thing. They got something.
This thing didn't start wanting that shit. Those are things they created, and you gave them what they wanted. They didn't fire these people because it was a part of a budget and they thought it was overspending. They fired these people to get bleeding heart Democrats to fucking whine and cry in their beers to see these people without jobs. And they say, look, I'm over here choking the baby. You gonna save it? You gonna save the baby? I'm choking the fuck out of it. You wanna save it? You wanna save it? They got their hand on the baby choking it to death. And you're sitting there, oh my God. And you're like, they don't have no feelings toward killing this thing. And that's how they get you. You got feelings about it. And I'm like, you the killer. You going to jail. No, you see this. You can't stop it. And you sit there and give the choker everything he fucking wants. And I'm like, what? No. Quit being a bleeding heart. Fight. Instead of crying and asking them to release it, go ahead and knock the fuck out of him. Don't sit here and be like, oh, give me the baby back. No, grab something and knock him in the head and get the baby back. You guys don't fight. You cry in your beers and say, please. And they know you do that every time. So all they got to do is get that visual of somebody in pain, and you got some weak, feckless Democrats that are going to sit here and be like, okay, but I didn't get nothing. Well, he stopped choking the baby. At least I got that. That ain't nothing. That's what they created so that you don't get what you were fighting for. And here he is. We got something. We weren't fighting for that. That was created so that we could get off of what we was fighting for. Do you understand healthcare is going up? Mine is 100% more, twice as much. There are people who are going up 4 times. I heard just yesterday with somebody going up quadruple for their family. What the fuck is $155 for SNAP and giving people their money back when the money they're getting is going to be gone to healthcare, or their kids are going to be sick, or their family members are going to be sick and die because they don't have healthcare? So you cared about this bullshit here, Lawrence O'Donnell, instead of caring about the big shit. And he just said, they didn't get the big thing, but they got something. You get a raisin off of a salad. What the fuck is that? This is the problem. Accepting the very minimum and walking away like you celebrated something. What are you celebrating? Sure, these 4,000 people get their money back. That's what they say. They'll get their back pay. Wonderful. And then those same 4,000 people going to lose their health care insurance. Or at least a percentage of them will. Out of those 4,000 people, within a year, at least 2 of them will be dead because of no health care. At least 2. Was it worth it? 2 dead bodies. Was it worth the raisin you just got? Fuck no. This is a problem with Democrats. You celebrate mediocre shit while the Republicans win at every turn because they don't care about nothing. Life, death, nothing. They don't care. They know you're the bleeding heart and they're the demon. They're the ones that have no heart. And you guys keep calling them your friends. Oh, my friend over here, fuck him. He ain't my friend. I don't make friends with devils. People that would choke out a baby and sit there and be like, no problem. They literally put babies off a SNAP just to prove a point. Starving children did not even a visual in their head come up like I gave a fuck. Close your eyes and think of children starving, not having any food, going to bed, stomach grumbling. Those who have sicknesses that need to eat on a regular basis can't eat the food because there's no food there. They did not care about those children. And they know you have a bleeding heart that you do. And that you'll give them whatever they want, just as long as they cause pain to American people that you love and care about. But at some point in time, some people, and it seems bad, but that's how it is, some people are going to have to just tough it up. And it takes the rest of us Americans to actually step it up. None of these people should be going hungry. It should have been Americans stepping up. What did we do when 9/11 happened? When somebody was trying to destroy America? Because that's what they're trying to do. Americans stepped up, started sending money and clothes to people in 9/11. Health and shit like that. They started all kind of 501c3, donating money everywhere. Everybody was donating money. America came together. Right now, we need America to come together. And instead of them relying on America coming together, which we were, the Democrats off of that win, the Democratic National Party, whatever, raised $6 million off of that. If the country ain't trying to tell you we want out of this fucking relationship with these freaking Republicans, I don't know what it is. They gave you all the leverage you needed. They told you, keep fighting. People who were hungry were still saying, keep fighting because my health care I can't afford and my child is on some kind of medication and I'm not going to be able to afford it. Keep fighting. We'll find something to eat. Instead of that, you guys sat in and capitulated to the minimal shit. And this man is on TV literally saying, well, you know, we got a cracker, but you know what? A cracker's better than nothing. Sir, no, it's not. And if that's the way you negotiate and you did when you was in office, you, sir, were trash too in negotiating. I negotiated when I sold cars, and I did 1 billion times better than that. And I kept it honest. I didn't have to lie about shit. And you telling me negotiation is to give up the whole farm and just keep one pig? Shut up.
It should not be surprising that one of the 5 senators in this compromise is Tim Kaine of Virginia, where he represents one of the states with the most federal government workers per capita working in and around Washington, D.C. It should also not be surprising that
Well, what's the point of that? They're not getting their jobs back.
both of the Democratic senators from Nevada joined the compromise that will avoid the airport nightmares that were looming in America for Thanksgiving and Christmas if the shutdown continues. Las Vegas, Nevada is completely dependent on reliable air traffic into Las Vegas to feed the local economy, the biggest economy in Nevada. Las Vegas has other problems now with Canadians boycotting tourism in America, but the airport nightmare was something that Nevada's Democratic senators decided after 40 days they simply could not abide.
So you're telling me they turned it into a third world country in 40 days. They need to work on their management. Because if a war happened right now in this country, you're telling me in 40 days they destitute, they're broke? You're talking about Las Vegas, Nevada, the gambling capital of the fucking world, where billions of dollars are won and lost on a daily fucking basis. And they were going broke? Shit. I hate being lied to, y'all. I hate being lied to. And this man is literally lying to y'all that damn state was going like broke or some shit. There is no way in hell Las Vegas was going broke. Maybe he's saying Reno, Nevada, or something like that, and the tourists or whatever. That's why when you have tourists coming to a place and that's your main stay, and that's where you make most of your money, you reserve shit. You don't spend all your money. You put money to the side that can last you 6 months, a year, whatever. You tell me in 40 days you had no reserves to keep your country, your state going. You got management problems. You had that before this shutdown. And it's showing because you only got 40 days for our government to negotiate. So that literally tells billionaires and soon to be trillionaires they can squeeze the shit out. You just show them where the baby they can choke. They choke the fuck out of Nevada, they're going to always get that person to vote the way they want to vote. And it takes less than 40 days to do it. So now as a billionaire, if I'm thinking like these evil bastards, oh, I know I can get whatever we want. All we got to do is starve Vegas because or part of Vegas or Reno, Nevada, or wherever he said Nevada, we just starve them out for 40 days. The Democrats going to fold. You guys suck.
For people in government who care about how the government works and how the country runs, which does not include Donald Trump, people who care about that, including our air traffic control system, for them, government shutdowns are actually painful every day. They're not a stunt. They're not a tactic.
We knew this.
They're not a strategic tactic. They are painful. Government shutdowns are full of pressure every day for people who care.
He's trying to tell us that we don't care because we want them to fight for once. He's literally trying to guilt trip us about not caring because we care about the entire fucking country and not just one state in it. So we're supposed to just capitulate because one state's having problems when there's 49 other states that are not having as much of a problem in that particular state. And the fact that we're coming together with food, putting money together. I saw many people going buying food and feeding people. The American society as a whole cared so much that we were donating cash. We were going out and giving people food, all because of our government was saying fuck off. And those people cared, Lawrence O'Donnell. They cared. They know what was on the line. Health care. They were trying to save lives. You're talking about saving jobs. They were trying to save lives. And when you do that, you have to negotiate tough. You can't be no willy-nilly like negotiator. You made a bargain with the devil, and all you got out of it is a promise. These things that you're mentioning were not the reason we went into the shutdown. What you went into the shutdown for, you didn't get. You got some other shit that they created, these smoke and mirrors that they created that got you all, we got to care. You care? That's the reason why. They don't. And they sat there and watched you and others like you squirm until you decided to just pop. Oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll do whatever. We want something. We get rid of this pain. Now, what are you going to do about the pain of the insurance being double and triple and quadruple? What are you going to do about that pain? Oh, I forgot. You got a promise from the devil that he's going to help you.
About this government actually running and running well. And that pressure of a government shutdown gets greater every day. Some people who have never been in the room with a senator feeling that pressure seem to think that it's easy for senators from Nevada to do nothing to end the government shutdown that is ruining American air travel. People who have never seen or heard a majority or minority leader of the Senate actually try to persuade a senator on how to vote seem to think that it's easy.
Nobody said it was easy, bro. Again, it was easy for them to turn their ass and do the turncoat shit. That was easy, Lawrence. That was easy. Yes, it was. Because they decided that no matter what these millions of people are worried about, you caring about the tens of thousands, 4,000 lives, and then you're talking about air travel. Okay. Then that Nevada lady, go ahead and vote. That's still not 7 or 8 more people. You had 3. I don't know if she was one of the original 3. But if she was one of the original 3, fine. Let her vote. Why the other 5 coming along? That ain't your state. And I think there may have been 2 from Nevada. So again, let's just say 3 or 4. That still ain't 8. Why? Why the rest of them decide to run with them? Their states are nowhere near theirs. It's like New Hampshire and some other, I don't know, Virginia. Ain't got shit to do with Vegas. So what's your point? It seems like you went and just, let me grab something over here. Smorgasbord of pain. I mean, over here they got problems with airplanes. And over here they got problems with military people because this person's got 150,000 people in the military. Let me grab that one real quick. Let me grab this one real quick. What about healthcare? All of these bitches got to deal with that. The ones who are military, the ones who got to deal with airplane travel, all of them got to deal with healthcare. That's what we were fighting for. That's what we wanted. And we didn't get that. And you're like, we didn't get the big thing, but we got a bunch of little shit that they caused so that we can divert and go over there and care about it so that the big thing ain't a big deal. Just get a promise for that and then get these. And we won these little tiny things and we can hopefully get a little promise for the big thing later. When you don't get your slow ass out of here talking that shit. And I know you're smart. It just sounds like, again, you are so disconnected from the American people. It's unreal. It is unreal how you don't see where we're coming from with the fact that our healthcare, not 6 months from now, our healthcare right now is about to change twice as much, 3 times as much, 4 times as much. People are trying to figure out whether they pay their mortgage or get behind in their mortgage and hope that you guys come through, or get, Timmy out of private school, put him in public school just so they can feed their family, or sell the car, only use one, and take each other back and forth to work, and I'll drop you off so that we can have some money to pay for health care because little Mary's sick. And there's no way, she needs her insulin. She needs this shit like that. And we ain't going to have healthcare, and we need to have it. Without healthcare, that shit's going to cost us thousands of dollars a month. Or at least hundreds of dollars a month. You thought about giving 4,000 people their jobs back as a when 42 million people who are on the ACA supposedly, you traded 4,000 for 42 million. How the hell you bargain that away? 42 million to 4,000. The mere fact that you got in front of a camera and try to negotiate that shit. Jesus. 4,000 versus 42 million. And he's talking about we got something. All right. It's neither here nor there. I just was I was like, I was baffled when my friend sent that to me. I don't know my friend's position on it, but I know mine after I did my research, and I was like, yo, they didn't get nothing, bro. What you're saying, this promise that you talk about, if you look into it, this promise, it does not say anything, yo. The promise of them talking about our health care is something where the lady was like, well, we get to determine what date it was. We don't care what date it is, ma'am. You understand you're going nowhere with it. And the mere fact you got in front of a camera and tried to fool Americans thinking that they wouldn't give it to you now. They gave you some crap that they created to get you off of it. And they put leverage on you and you caved. Now, what do you think is going to happen when you try and get health care in this little meeting you're talking about in December? All they got to do is throw pressure on you. They know how you cave. It's just like going to Vegas, where you're from, Nevada, and gambling. Your like poker face is trash because they already know. Let me squeeze the airports again and you will bend. They know your weak point. So how are you going to be strong for your people if all they got to do is say, you know what? We're just going to stop paying the airline people. Let's go ahead and cut that off again. No, I'll do it. And there you are. They don't even got to do it anymore. They just got to threaten it, and you will capitulate. You will cave. They don't even have to do it no more. All they got to do is say, okay, we're going to close this down for a day or 6 months. Or say, what? And you're automatically, whatever you want. So why are you in your position if you have no leverage? Nothing. You just showed your hand. This is why I don't believe everybody should be able to be a politician, dude. I mean, it's just like, if you don't have the stones to be in that position, please don't go. Please don't go. You're dealing with the demons that are Republicans. You gotta, and here's the thing. What Lawrence O'Donnell did for me last night, or this morning rather, when he said this. He said it last night, but I didn't see it till this morning. And it helped me. I dove into this rabbit hole of knowledge about it, trying to educate myself about every little aspect that I can, that a day can provide. And I realized that I'm like, wait a minute. What is the motivation of a Republican? And is there a difference between a Republican voter and a Republican leader? He made me want to go into the mind of a Republican. Matter of fact, I even labeled that particular thing. It's about basically Republican leadership versus Republican voters' mindsets. They don't offer them anything. Think about it. Republicans, the voter, they never get offered anything but fear. That's it. Somebody's going to take your job. Fear. These immigrants coming in. Fear. The healthcare and stuff like that, it's going to be, it's a big government. We need a smaller government. We need you to take care of your own healthcare. You don't have to have no healthcare from the government. Small government. Fear. All the while, they want to privatize it so that they can charge whatever the hell they want for your healthcare and make a mint off of you. But they sell fear. They don't sell promises to anything. The Republicans never sell hope. They never sell anything positive. They sell fear, and fear pays. Just like they say sex sells, fear sells, even more than sex. So they put them on a constant viewing of fear. The propaganda fox, fear. And these people fear everything. They are afraid of everything. They're afraid of this country disappearing. They're afraid of their values disappearing. They're afraid of Christianity disappearing. They're afraid of everything. There is nothing they literally stand for. It's fear of what they have going away. They don't think about the future having more. They think about holding on what they got and not losing in the future. See, Democrats think of the future as a promise, like the American dream is just right outside that window. They think somebody's outside trying to steal my American dream. And they're guarded. That's why they like guns, because they're constantly in fear. It made me dive deep into the mind of them, even billionaires and so forth. I dug into the mind of the billionaire. I dug into all their minds and like a psychological profile of a modern, now this is not all of them, it's just the modern Republican voter. This is the things that I learned. At the center of the Republican voter's heart sits a quiet, unspoken fear. The country I grew up in is slipping away, and no one cares that I'm scared. That is the core of what Republican voters feel. And Republican leaders use it against them. See, when we had the election and they said that Kamala Harris is not listening to the people, or even way back even further than that, they said Biden wasn't listening to the people. He didn't have his mind on what really mattered to the people. Right? He was running the second time. You don't got your mind on the people because the people in pain, and you're talking about the economy's doing well. Because he was talking about Wall Street's doing well, and Main Street will follow if we continue down the processes that we've been going down. These different subsidies that are happening, to Build Back Better, all these, loan forgivenesses from colleges and things of that nature, giving people a better head start so they can keep most of their money, so they can buy homes, all that, they can save more. All this was to help boost the economy. But it wasn't something that these people were listening to because that didn't resonate with what they thought. They were thinking fear, fear, fear. See, Democrats speak hope into people. Republicans speak fear. Democrats give people something to look forward to. Republicans tell them what they're going to lose. And if you're aspirational, you got your mind and your heart wide open. You're ready to run into the wild and have a good time. And what's behind that mountain? If you're constantly on fear, you're guarded. Give me. I want it back. I want to get back to the past where my dad and mom used to own 2 houses and da. In the past, I want that. I want the past. All the while, they're blaming everybody else but the Republican leaders who are lying to them. They get them activated to do what they want and then sit back and let them do the shit they do. That's how January 6th happened. A bunch of people in fear because the Republicans feed it to them on a constant diet of fear. World is going away. Everything's going away. Away. Scared to death. What we saw was people fearing that their lives were going to change, and it's all because of Democrats. It's all because of immigrants. It's all because of those 5 to 10 trans people in the freaking, like in swimming or women's athletics. It wasn't even that much. I think it was like less than 5 of them. It's like 2 or 3, but let's just give it 5. They were afraid of that. They're afraid of their world changing. They're afraid of Christianity. So they had to split Christianity off and make it white Christianity, white nationalist Christianity, and started calling Jesus woke. He's no good. The regular Jesus, don't want him because he's woke. And you're saying, like, you just split Jesus into a white nationalist and woke? Jesus, the person you believed in, they have gotten you so afraid of Jesus because Jesus says, love thy neighbor, and you're stuck on hate and fear because your leaders keep feeding it to you. and you're eating it up. And every day you wake up and have a healthy dose of fear. And therefore, we have these people going off. Now, how do we reach them? Now, here's the thing that I learned just today. I am a person who fights them. I am a person who calls them who they really are. Meaning, like, I'm fighting the ideology that the Republican leaders are pushing and that the Republican voters are co-signing. Now, there are Republicans who are racist as I don't know what. But then there's some who are just scared and run alongside them because they push the things that they're afraid of and they validate them. But they got that little evil core of racism, sexism, transphobia, xenophobia, and all that shit added on. And some Republicans say, I don't believe in that part, but they believe in the core part, not realizing the core is the racist part, right? So they have somehow this cognitive dissonance that they're just different when they're one and the same. They don't see it. And you're sitting there like, how don't you see it? We, who are not lost in the sauce, are like, how don't you see? This is red, this is blue. You got purple. You done blended it and you see purple no matter what. You can't separate them for some reason. And I started digging into it and I'm like, they have been told of all their losing in this country by Republicans. I try and go and watch Fox every once in a while. I can't stomach it. But I found out epiphany today. The reason I can't stomach it is because, one, they lie. But two, when you start to put it together, their lying is very much fear tactics. Be afraid of this, be afraid of this. They're doing this to you, they're doing that to you. Boogeyman. That's everything. Everything that we see that's just, this, married couple and, gay and stuff like that got together and they're in a wonderful family. And you just have a look, they're out here trying to get married and have this and the other. There's only two sexes and blah, blah, blah. And it's like the story was about them getting married. What are you talking about? They go straight to the part. They see it and they're dialed into the fear of it. What should I fear about this picture? This picture is about love, bro. What you should be afraid? What are you afraid of? Oh, it's about something in it that I should be afraid of. Maybe it's the love part. I should be afraid of love. They look at it and try and find what's wrong and try to translate it into a fear tactic. And that's what they sell, fear, not facts. Then they gaslight you and they were talking about stuff like facts over feelings when it's really fear over facts. And they tell you their feelings about it. So the things that they're thinking about losing, they're afraid. These are the things they're thinking about losing: cultural dominance, economic stability, community cohesion, religious centrality. They want their religion to be the central of all things. Predictable social rules, identity as the default American. You ever notice, because our country's been like this forever, but you ever notice when they mention anything about white people, it's not mentioned white in it whatsoever? Not even anything that literally sounds like white. They'll be like the working class. They're talking about only white people. They ain't talking about black people, Latin people, Asian people. They're talking about white people. When they talk about you, you're the Latin vote. They talk about me, I am the black vote or the urban vote. They're the suburban vote. They're the, working class. They're separated all over the place. But our race leads ours. Theirs doesn't. Theirs is the default. And that's the part. They believe the loss of the identity as the default American. You over here speaking Spanish and you're speaking Japanese and they get all mad. You're in America. Why are you speaking that around me? You could be talking about me. And if they were, You don't know what they're talking about, so it shouldn't bother you. But it does, because they're threatened about their default. You're messing with the default. You're trying to make America more Latin, or more Asian, or more this or that. And it's supposed to be just white. So they have a fear of losing that. And you start to kind of understand their mindset is loss. They're worried about loss, while other good white people and people of color have everything to gain. Democrats, some independents, I'm sure, think about the future and all it has to offer. American dream for my kids. They could possibly get a home. They aren't in the street calling us the N-word left and right, and it happens, but it's not like every day there's somebody saying that to you individually. Now, there's every day there's somebody saying it, but you can get in certain communities and everybody's cool. Your kid plays soccer with all races and colors and creeds, and it's a great thing, even though you have some oddities, but it's not by far the majority. But then you start to wonder throughout this whole process, that person may be racist, this person over here may not, but the racist and the non-racist, saying white people, may both agree that, on the loss of economic stability, the loss of community cohesion, the loss of religious centrality. And the racist part, they ain't really on that tip. So that's how a racist and a non-racist are like this. But the racist benefits because they have another white person that's sort of kind of co-signing their racism. Think of it like if you were German and you was hanging out with Hitler. I understand that Hitler and his friends or whatever, he might have been cool with them. He might have been a funny dude. He might have said jokes that were hilarious. He may have been, whatever. He probably could dance. You don't know what the hell was going on, right? All these different things that these people could talk about him. But look at the shit he did. And if you're like this with the dude who could do shit like that, now you should understand why people are looking at you kind of sideways and saying you're racist, because you like this with one. You can't be next to a racist and support everything a racist says except for the racist part, but you're still cool with them. So how can you be cool with somebody that hates on other people just for the sole fact that they're racist, they're bi, they're trans? You can't be associated with racists and say you're not one. That's not how this shit works. Just like in their situation, if they're racist and they see you got all black friends, at some point in time, they'll be like, what's up with that? You can't be like one of us and hanging out with them. It's the same dynamic. You can't be for, people of color and your homies racist that you hang out with 24/7. That shit don't add up. Right? So when you're in a party that welcomes racist, it's understandable that people think you're racist because you validate it. It's not one of your points. We believe that should be a core of the point. Because if you're fighting for a racist to survive in your little world because he's going to vote yes on, economic stability, he's going to vote yes on religious centrality, but then when racism comes up, what you going to do? Just like Republicans do. You're going to support his racism. You're going to say you're not, but he's going to say, I voted for your shit. Why didn't you vote for mine? You ain't got to be racist, but you got to vote that I survive too. Then you vote without, okay, I'll do that. And now you're voting alongside. You can't say that you're not supporting it if you are. That's why when people say Republicans are racist, and they're like, not all of us, I say, you can't take yourself away from it. You can't divide yourself away from something that somebody's doing. And again, I know there are people that are Democrats, but if they had a bill or something that's benefiting just white people and nobody else, like fuck all everybody else, I ain't voting for that. See, that's the difference between a Democrat. We vote on the plans. Like, oh, no, y'all don't need to do that. And we'll drop your ass in a heartbeat if you don't. If you go too far to like Racistville, oh no, we ain't voting for shit for you to do. But on that side, like one of the ladies said, it was a lifelong Republican. Republicans vote. They stay in line. And what they said, Democrats fall in love, Republicans fall in line. That was their quote of what they used to say. Now, she's a black woman or mixed, whatever she is. I was sitting there like, wow, you was in a party that literally told you just to stay in line and you was cool with that? And you thought it was funny to make fun of Democrats because they had a mind of their own, while at the same time calling them sheep. While you're falling in line, which sheep do, and that's your policy within the group behind the scenes, we fall in line, that means you're a sheep. Democrats, squirt out. Hey, I don't believe this. I believe this. You racist? No, I ain't dealing with that dude. And the reason why they get everything they want is because they fall in line. Even if it's not something that they agree with, they're falling in line. They're breaking laws, Donald Trump is. These Republicans falling in line. I got to sneeze. Excuse me. They're falling in line. And that's what Republicans do. Now, I had to dig deep and look at like, okay, they feel things are slipping away, shrinking and fading. And that's what they're being fed all the time. But when you think about it, they're not really even fighting us. They're not fighting liberals or Democrats. They are fighting the feeling of becoming strangers in their own country. They're being on a constant diet that this country ain't what it used to be. It ain't what your mom and dad did. It ain't what our creators, it ain't what the founding fathers wanted. It ain't what Jesus wanted. It's all a mind game. Controlled by the billionaires. Controlled by the mindset of a Republican leader versus Republican voters. Republican voters are just pawns. It's how they win. Republican leaders don't ever promise them anything. They just make them afraid of everything. The billionaires put money into their coffers, meaning the Republican leaders, and they go out and get these Republican voters to do what they want them to do. So much so that money came from the top, went all the way down, and that's what caused January 6th. This streamline of become sheep, fall in line. And when Donald Trump basically said he wanted them to attack, they did just that. Just like wild dogs. They trained, not even wild dogs, trained dogs to be wild. They would sick them on somebody and they went after them. And that fear still is in them because some of these same people are in these ICE uniforms now. That hate, after they went to jail and came out, they still got it in them. They still rabid dogs that you can just, blow a whistle or tell them to roll over, and that's exactly where they at. They back in it. It's crazy. That's the extreme. But what about those who aren't extreme that you can somewhat still reason with, not necessarily to get them off of Trump? Some of them are falling off Trump on their own. But what are they being offered to be a part of this quote unquote Republican tribe? They're being told by this Republican tribe, you are the real American. They're not. They're immigrants. They're black folks. They're Latin folks. They're Asian folks. You're the default American, white people. White nationalist people, you're the default. These people, they shithole countries. Some of them are rapists and racist and rapists and killers, and maybe some of them are good. right? China flu, right? Kung flu. They have disparaged every race but the white race. You are the real American. That's what they're feeding them. You are the backbone. You are the protector of America and what they determine what America is. Americans don't, they do. You are the tradition keeper, being a trad wife, being a traditional this, the tradition of how you're supposed to treat a man, especially the white male stereotype of how you're supposed to, like, we're the center of attention and everybody else. They can't stand the progression of women. All women, white, black, Latin, I don't care who it is. They can't stand the progression of you. Excuse me. They can't stand it. They don't want you. Sorry about that. They don't want you to progress. They want you to stay where you are. Go backwards. Well, that's why they say make America great again. Because when white men were the center of attention and you didn't have all this smoke for them, that was a better life for them. And each one of them has a different time period. Because for each one of them, it attaches. Oh, it was better in the 1700s. It was better in the 1800s. It's better in 1903. All of them got a different time frame. Because they didn't sell them exact time frame. They sold them an aspiration of when it was better for them. That fear that the world has passed them and they can't get it back. You are the ones they fear because you see the truth. Even though they're feeding them lies, they're saying that everybody fears them because they see the truth. So we're arguing with them because we're afraid of the truth. And they are the ones, are the bearers of truth. But they don't have any receipts to back up their truth. Their truth is whatever these billionaires and Republican leaders tell them. They are the ultimate sheep. Ultimate. Because they don't have an actual factual, like, receipt for their own ideology. It is all made up out of whole cloth. This message that they feed them, it hits the oldest, deepest human need. And that goes for all of them. The reason why they are in a trance and won't come out of it is because they finally belong somewhere. See, the world has been passing them by. Some of the older people, older white people, they're not computer savvy. They're not technically savvy. Not all of them, but some of them aren't. The way they used to live, and people treat them a certain way. Going to restaurants, people say yes sir, no sir, and all that stuff. The way the kids talk to their parents is a lot different. The music has changed. The dressing has changed. They feel like they're just being left behind. They've made no effort to catch up with the world as it continues to spin forward. They want you to slow it down. Slow it down. It's going too fast. I'm getting up in the age and everything's changed, and I want the world to go back to where it was, where I felt like I mattered, where I felt like I belonged. I don't belong in this newfangled world. And how can I get that back? They really can't. But the promise from Republicans, the leaders, not the voter, the leaders, is promising to give them that back. And they're falling in line like sheep to get back this feeling of belonging in a world that's leaving them behind. That is it. That is the reason. And they've listened to their elders tell them of a promise of a land of all this, that, and the third way it used to be. And some of these young people want that because they see They don't have the education. They don't have the skill set. They don't have that forward-looking ideology. They're not really computer savvy. This is not all of them. This is the core group of people who are Republicans that aren't, they're still farmers. They're still, not connected to anything. They don't really have a college education. They don't really have a trade of education. They're just there because everything costs so much. They can't go to college. They can't do this and that. So they're in this bubble of what the fuck. And while everybody's telling everybody, black, white, Latin, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, they just want the boots, the straps, and everybody else to pull them up for them. And if they don't have that, which they've been told they're owed that, not because they've done anything special, it's because they have been told they are the default American. And if I'm the default, I should be treated like a king. And that's why they have no problem treating Donald Trump like one, because they believe they deserve to be treated like one themselves by the rest of us. That's all they got to cling on to. That's what they've been promised. Otherwise, the industries in their communities in Virginia and other places are going, just like Obama said it would. These industries are leaving. You got to find a new trade. And instead of taking heed, they wanted another president that's just going to give it back to them. But other countries are surpassing us. So now what are they doing? AI. The next era, we had the industrialization era. This era that's coming in is the AI era. And they're moving into the Jetsons, okay? And a lot of people are going to get left behind. If you barely know how to work a computer, you're getting left behind. If you don't know how to edit or you don't know how to do anything technical, you're being left behind. If your job is all just using your hands, you're being left behind. Just like when the 70s, cars, you can go in and change an alternator, take out the engine, do all that stuff like that. And then in the early, I guess, 2000s, 2010 or something like that, this all computerized. You hooked your computer, you hooked your car up to a computer and it tell you it was wrong. Been well over a decade since that happened. New cars are built like that for the most part. So you had to learn other shit. If you didn't learn it, you left behind. Now AI is coming out. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want change. I want this. And they're going to be looking at that. When they're changing all the AI and you don't know shit about AI, you're going to be left behind. And this is the vacuum that you create that gets people who feel left behind to start hating those who are doing their damnedest to keep up with the times so that they can afford a house, so they can afford the American dream. And those left behind, the American dream will escape them. And the hate and the division is something that Republicans will look and crave, and just like vampires or vultures, they'll scoop up and take your soul and have you all hating on the people that had the same opportunity that you had, but you chose fear of something new over actually doing something new. And they have, and you become one of the have-nots. And that's what's happened over these decades. People not listening to people like President Obama, and people in the past that have said that these are the things that we need to do in order to stay relevant as a country around the world, become leaders. Whenever something comes out and everybody in the world is starting to pay attention to it, America, if you want to be the #1 country, you got to lead on it. You can't hide it. I don't want it. You got to lead on it. Because when the world shifts and you're behind, oh, you're fucked. And that's the last thing America wants. Why do you think on AI, China, every time you turn around with worse chips, are turning out software that's kicking America's ass on AI? And it's like, how the hell they do that? We gave them the terrible chips. They're doing everything they can to keep China behind. And somehow China keeps on popping out of AI like that. that's faster, quicker, more complex than the shit that we're on, that America's all proud about. China be popping out 2 or 3 of them things every other month. You'd be like, damn, there's another one. America can't keep up. And we've been saying this. Now, why would they want to get rid of education in this country? They're putting us back even further. But see, these are the fear tactics they gave people. You don't want to know about CRT, racism, and all that. We don't put that in the books. You know, we teach black people should be happy we taught them some trades and all this nonsense just to give a core group of people a feeling like they belong. Well, you can belong by knowing the truth. You can belong by not feeling guilty about what happened in the past, but know what it is and understand why people still have pain over it. You're not to blame, but you can't tell people to get over something that they haven't gotten over. Just like there's things in your lives and people's lives, all people's lives, that they haven't gotten over. I know no matter what race you are, I know people who still hang on to the fact that their mom and dad never hugged them. And they're like 60. Mom, dad, been dead, but still got that pain in their heart they never dealt with. Can't even solve it because the people gone, they can't hug you. Right? These people have so much like hate and anger toward people that are just trying to, you know, make the American dream real for them. And it doesn't take hating on anybody else. The fact is, Republican leaders lie to their voters because they know what their voters are missing. And that feeling of belonging, that feeling of opportunity is fading for them. And the crazy part about it is, it's the billionaires who are phasing it out. The very people they're all in love with, the soon-to-be trillionaire, is the one who's taking it away from them. And they're blaming liberals. And the crazy part is, what the liberals want to do creates jobs for them. Creates whole new jobs for them. What the Republicans want to do takes the jobs away and gives it to AI. It blows your mind how they have really been suckered into believing that Republican leaders actually care about them. Blows your mind. And I'm not this person who says, you know, I'm not trying to know both sides shit, but I know what my party, Democrats, what they don't do, just like this situation here, where 8 of them, or 7 of them at least, defected. I understand my party's issues, and I'm diving even deeper into the mindset of a Democrat voter, average, not all of us. And the promise, and I suggest you do the same. What are the promises of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party for their constituents? What do they really promise? And if you are a Republican and you look that up, it's going to break your heart. They don't promise y'all shit. They pour fire onto your hate, or gasoline onto your hate, so your fire just blows up even more. They wrangle you like cattle. They tell you, you know, things like, we like business and, you know, economics and, you know, all this stuff like that. No, they want you to forever be broke, never to reach where they're at. The billionaires control them. They control you. And you get pissed off at the people they point you toward. They rile you up, get you angry, starve you a little bit, and then point you a direction, open up the gate, and y'all run like wild sheep to wherever location they pointed you at to attack it. And if you don't recognize that, look at January 6th. That's when they let up the gate and turned wild human beings, these rabid dogs, onto other human beings who want the same thing they want, a part of the American dream. That's it. Ask yourself why? Fear. They are triggered by fear. And they want to be important without actually doing anything important. They want participation trophies. I participate in a white race, I automatically should get a trophy. That's it. No extra effort. Hence, you see the Pete Hexes and the Pam Bondis, and anybody who affiliates themselves with that, the Sean Duffys, they don't deserve their positions. They're not qualified. But what they prove to their followers, to their voters, is that, look, we're helping white people get on top again. Even if you're not qualified, he's there because he's white. And that feeds them like, oh, they're going to take care of me too. They're not. It's just the promise of it. That's all they care about. They want it, but the promise of it gives them the idea that it's happening, but it's not. Man, I'm talking about the mind fuckery that they put on their people. It's like, you would think at some point in time, this rabid dog is going to turn on you. I don't know. But there's more to the mindset of a Republican. But their leaders, if you search the mindset of a Republican leader, especially in this Trump era of the GOP, their logic is primary emotional logic. Their thing is power is not a means, power is the goal. Power is the ideology. Power is the moral center. When you think about a Democrat, on average, we tend to see power as something we can use to pass policies. And we pass a lot of policies for the people and for the earth and for all these. We really do pass a lot of things that are good for the people, all different people, white, black, Latin, Asian, all American citizens. Democrats do that. But what the modern GOP leadership see as power, they see it as a shield. They see it as a resource, a reward, a weapon. They see it as validation, a means of shaping reality. They don't really believe in conservatism. What Republicans really believe in is control. When they talk about issues like this culture war, taxes, abortion, the LGBTQIA plus, whatever, right? When they talk about those things as like any kind of policy whatsoever, it's just like, it's not really a form of what they really want to do. It's just like scaffolding. It's like what holds this temple up is the promise of certain things. It tells you we have this certain desire, but they never have actual plans. They have concepts. So you'll have somebody in the gay community or LGBTQIA plus community, and they'll be a Republican. You're like, they don't offer you shit. They don't. They offer them this scaffolding, not a building, not anything. We like people who are free thinkers. And then they get all excited. I think for myself, so I'm a Republican. They like people who are sheep. They like people who feel like they belong. They're literally pimps. They walk around finding that little girl or young lady that has nobody and wants to belong. And they tell you what you want to hear. They get you excited and tell you that you're part of my tribe. But they only want you as a voter. They will never offer you anything. In fact, they'll tell you wanting something from me, that's like a Democrat. Want something from me? No, go out there and get it yourself. You're a free thinker. You got to be on the Democrat or the Republican side because we get shit done. They're always begging for shit. Meanwhile, the Republican, the person they're trying to get, they want something. But then they're telling them, we're not going to give you anything. We're just going to give you a place that you belong. And for that belonging, You get absolutely shit. And what do they get? A vote and a mentality that people are trying to take shit away from you. And as a Republican, you got to hate on those who's trying to take it. They don't even know what the hell Republicans, liberals, and all shit are trying to take from them, which is nothing. It's just a promise of we are like you. While at the same time, at different conventions, hating people who are gay, bi, trans people. Can't stand them in some of these damn conventions. But that's not the point. We still got to get those racist people too. They go to every tent and promise that tent that they're the number one. Not crossing any of these people at the same time. So therefore, they all think they're under this big tent. They're individual tents. And the only real tent that matters is a white nationalist tent. Pay attention. Do some research on these groups. It is crazy when you start finding out what their minds are about. Just you a trip at what their minds are about. They literally pimp these people out. Get them to believe that they belong in something. And that's it. They militarize them. They send them propaganda. And because they finally belong somewhere, they never question it. Because if they find out the truth, they no longer belong. That's why they're not fact-based. They're feeling-based. Think about it. If you're in a cult and the leader says, I love you, and you've never been told by anybody in your family that you love them, then whatever they do to you, they're going to always be by your side because you made them feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves. And so you don't want to ever lose that, because before they came to you, being in the Republican Party, they were lost. They didn't belong. They didn't have people like them. And now they can go to this whatever function where there's, if you notice, during the last election, and this is sad, but I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it. There was a Black Republican convention. A Black Republican convention, and Donald Trump supposedly drove by, and they thought he was on the way to somewhere else, but they thought he was coming. And these Black Republicans were outside drinking something or whatever, hanging out, listening to music. They saw his car coming by their particular area, and just like, I don't know, moths to a flame, whatever, these people were like all trying to murmuring, oh, stop. They stopped talking and ran over toward the thing. They thought he was going to come out and wave at them, or come out and shake their hands, because they were holding this thing, raising money for him at this Black function with Black Republicans. He drove on by. Not a hello, not a hi, just drove the fuck by. And they were like, oh, wow, did you see? He drove by. And it was so sad to see. They don't belong anywhere. And in this party, they feel like they belong. Somebody cares about them. And in this cult, it's filled with the idea that we're all Christian. We're all, we're going to get jobs, and we're going to get close to whiteness, and they're going to love us. And we're not these Black people that cause angst. We're just ones who just fall in line. We Steven from Django, and proud of it. Those guys are always just going against the grain. That's why they ain't going to be nobody. As long as you hang out with these people and treat them right, they'll throw you a bone, and man, you make a lot of money kissing the ass of people who don't like you, nor will stop by and say hi. But they know you're on their side. So you keep paying penance. They're tithing with their money to get close to power. Trying to belong to something. Because just being Black alone is not enough for them. They need to be Black and powerful. And they can't do that in a party that holds facts, because they don't belong in the fact area. They belong in the feelings drama area. And that's where they belong. And Republican leaders know that, and they use them. Tell yourself, black people, when was there a plan that they ever created for black people? None. And why won't they do it? Because they got you believing, being a Republican, you're supposed to be self-sustaining. I ain't supposed to give you nothing. I promise you nothing but fear. And they fall in line. It's crazy, huh? And when you get to the core of these people, not just the black people, just anybody that is in that group, it is all about belonging to something. It has nothing to do with that party helping them benefit anything. As long as they spew whatever they want to tell them, they throw them money to keep supporting them. But they'll never go to your function and be there next to you. You're beneath them. Did you ever see Republicans go out and just hang out with their constituents and have a conversation with them? Do you ever see them just go to a function and just hang out at a barbecue or something? Do you ever see them going around just hold a baby, having a conversation with any of their constituents? Do you ever see them do that? Hell no. Because their followers are not of their ilk. You're supposed to aspire to be me. I'm not supposed to hang out with you peasants. Look at Ted Cruz. He has no personality. He can't hold a conversation. Look at J.D. Vance. This man made going to an ice cream shop seem like he was about to rape somebody or kill somebody or snatch him and put him in a truck or something. He had no personal skills. His personal skills was on a -5 million. He made ordering ice cream creepy. They don't get along with people. They have no personality. They don't care about you. And that's the great part about being a Republican. We don't have to care. Our thing is to tell you to do it on your own. And we'll throw you a bone. But then just leave me alone. Don't ever come near me. They're never personable. Just saying. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. Herman Cain. I don't even know if he got the COVID shot. I don't think he got it. He died before they came out. I believe he had it. He died before it came out. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I had so much more, but it's getting late, and I wanted to give you guys some understanding of what a Republican mindset's all about. Now, maybe tomorrow we can talk more about whatever happens tomorrow, but I want to dive deeper into this because I want to get to the part of how do we desensitize their fears. And I'm not trying to get them to come over to our side, not like I'm trying to break this hold. Because when you really listen, not all of them now, I know the white nationalist ones are not anywhere near salvageable. But there are some, and I believe there's a lot of them, that are caught up in this web of feeling like they don't belong anywhere else but in this particular party. And as you've seen, like I've seen, some of these people have been breaking off of the Republican Party because they'll literally say, the ones who break off that was die hard till like just a few weeks ago when things started happening, they're losing their jobs. And they're like, I was for him. I've seen a bunch of these videos of like, I was for him no longer. I lost this, I lost that. And it had to hit them hard before they realize this is not what I wanted. Again, you can't always explain why people are in a cult or even how they get in them, because some people get in without even knowing. But the way you get to anybody, like a pimp getting turning somebody into a prostitute, is to get them to believe that you have their best interest. And because you belong in this group, you got to do certain things. And if you don't do it, now you're back on the street to being a nobody and can't find a tribe. Now you're part of a tribe, you're going to have to do some things. Out of love, of course, to stay in this group. First, you can't hold the leader responsible for your problems. You got to be, your own man, your own woman. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Don't rely on us. We're going to help you out, but don't rely on us. And then they start giving them money so that they rely on them and make them think they're doing it on their own, but they're buying ads on your podcast. They're paying this here and the other. This is hard work. This is what you're doing to get paid this. No other place will pay them $200,000-$300,000 per video. But you're doing this on your own. You're pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. No, they're creating an army of people that are loyal to them for a few $100,000. And now you're a rabid dog. You will not bite the hand that feeds you. And they're stuck. And they're thinking about now, some of them getting fired, getting cast out. I was suckered, enamored by the money. And now they got to figure it out. So some of us, and what I'm doing here is I'm starting to realize something as I work through it. I've fought trying to get into politics because I don't want to do it because I think we can be more effective. But I think we need to be on inside and outside. And one of the things I've been really focusing on is getting to know the people and what people want. I told you about Avid Solutionists, and that's one of the things I care about is finding solutions for people, but also solutions for systems. Like, how can we improve the system that we have? And I tell you, capitalism that cares in multiple avenues that I'm trying to work on. But it's time that we have something that leverages the Republicans and the Democrats. See, like, the independent party doesn't do anything for anybody. We don't even know do you know even what the mission of an independent is? No. Half people don't even know what the mission of a Democrat or a Republican is. They're just loyal because they were raised that way. Or they've done something for them. Democrats usually want things done for you before they become loyal to you. Because if you didn't know the history, black people used to be Republicans because Republicans were the ones that did something for you until the party switched. And it immediately, black people was like, oh shit, they ain't for us no more. And they went Democrat. So black people have moved parties based on their own personal benefits as a people. What they've done to all other races is create loyalty to the point where you will vote against your own best interest because fear is more important than the benefit of yourself. Black people are like, fuck that fear shit. We want to benefit for whatever the hell you're going to get. I'm not getting a group that's trying to destroy me. Are you crazy? So that's why you see us as black people. We don't switch parties because we understand which one is trying to help us. Are they going to do everything for us? No. Do we want them to do everything for us? No. Let the Republicans tell it we do. But we don't. We just want people to give opportunities, open doors that have been closed because of the color of our skin, not the content of our character or the intellect that we hear, that we carry, or we earn. And that's not just even black people. Women too. They're not giving you your just deserves because, again, you're competing with them. They want you to go back into the house and barefoot, pregnant, have babies, and let them do the work while y'all just sit at home and cook. That's what they want to take y'all back to. Cook, have babies. They're discounting what you offer. They're discounting the fact, and I ain't afraid to tell this, women are smarter than men. By far. Now, is every woman smarter than a certain man? No, I'm just saying, you take the brightest woman, you take the brightest man, she would do laps around him. They just don't get benefits like we do. Good night, Nina. Take care. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Did it disappear? It did. No, it's right here. Maybe because you left, maybe? No, it's right here. I see. Thank you. I didn't get a chance to say thank you to it. But yeah, those are the things that we have to deal with. And I'm going to dive deeper into how do we tap into the mind of a Republican voter. Because again, I'm starting to understand that we're pissed off at the leaders and the voters, don't get me wrong, that are following the leader like sheep. But we never know or knew, at least I didn't, what is it they really care about. The white nationalists, we don't give a shit about what they care about. The other ones who say they're not white nationalists, what do they care about? And how can we release those fears that they have so that they break away? Because some have already done it. And it's because it has touched their lives personally. Nobody showed it to them. It was like, this fool let me, drown out here and giving people $20, $40 billion. I'm out. So if they can break like that because they see that he's not trying to benefit them the way they wanted to be benefited, maybe we can talk to them and have a conversation outside of the political sphere, but on the American dream sphere. How can we figure that conversation out? And that's one that I'm working at. And I'm not trying to debate stupidity. I'm literally trying to say, hey, what is it that you really want? Tell the truth. What is it that you want? If you're racist, then I ain't got nothing to say then. But if you say you're not racist and you got particular issues, what are they? And how can we solve those? Those are the things we need to do to break this fever off of the ones who are caught up in this sheepdom. And I'm going to start focusing on it. And the reason why is because I'm tired of butting heads. I'm ready to change stuff. And I'm ready for us as a people to start holding the Republicans and the Democrats accountable for their actions. They should know that the things they do matter to us, and that if they need us, truly need us, once we unify, that's the thing they're afraid of, especially Republicans. Once we unify and billionaires, they lose the strength that they have over us. Last thing I'm going to say, keep in mind, people, that nobody, good night, everybody. Thank you, DJ. Keep in mind that nobody is forcing you to be in these positions that you're being in. These are positions that you're putting yourself in, meaning like if you are afraid of something, there's always a solution to it. And if you go straight to just the hate, then you gave up on it. And for me, I fight for the truth. I can't stand a liar, and I lie into people. But I also want solutions to these problems because, again, I don't believe any of these parties have our best interest 100%. And until we can break this negative influence that they have and this mind of a billionaire, wait till you get to understand the mind of a billionaire. I mean, I went into the psychological mind of a billionaire, the psychology of it. It is scary what they think. They're neither Republican or Democrat. They don't care about none of that. They don't care about us. They don't care about none of that. And when we get into that, boy, it's going to flip your mind. Like, so this is what Mark Zuckerberg thinks. And this is what Elon Musk thinks. And this is what, beyond. There's a certain part of your brain that shifts once you become astronomically wealthy. There's a drive that you have that no longer once you don't achieve things, it doesn't cut off. It actually turns on, and you start doing the person you were when you was broke and barely had anything, the person you are now, drastically different. Drastically different. And the thing is, so this trip is like to ask yourself, once you answer these questions, you hear about what happens to them and things like that. Ask yourself, if you were to become rich, would you remain the same person? Once we talk about that and see how that mind shifts, because I'm going to go down this path because I think this is our path to healing. I'm getting tired of arguing with these people and not getting anywhere. It's about time we start moving with purpose and figuring shit out. I'm going to go off on people lying, don't get me wrong. But I'm trying to figure things out. And on Avid Solutions, that's when we're going to start adding the solutions for us. It's about time we stop waiting on the world that we want and start building it. And it's not as hard as you think. You just have to have a creative mind, and you have to have people willing to change, not live the life we've been in the past, forging forward. and having a life that you want in the future, and realizing that we have to be armed with everything the future has to hold. I mean, once we start doing this, I'm gonna probably end up having Zoom meetings, and we're gonna have to teach each other about AI and different things, because there is no way that the future we should be in the dark. We should be learning. Our kids should know what's happening. We shouldn't run away from it, because the world will leave us behind. If we don't know it, we're gonna get left behind. So fighting change is not the answer. Embracing it and figuring out how it can be better with the new technology and how it can benefit us. And we have to wrap our heads around what it offers in order to figure out what it will offer the American people, what we can turn it into. Because as they develop it and make it better for different things, it's going to be the American people who are going to end up buying or doing the things or creating the things that benefit us. We have to get in front of it, not behind it. So those are the types of things I talk about what I'm going to do with Avid Solutionists. We may even get into classes and try and get people caught up on simple things, because nobody should be left behind. And nobody should have an excuse to feel like they don't belong in this new fangled world, when you should just take a day or two, an hour or two, to learn something new, so that you're not left behind. And so that you're in front of something and not drastically behind it. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen. The other day, you usually get it back in another way, right? John Bryant, thank you guys so much for being here. Much love to y'all. Thank you for the support, the donations. Again, I appreciate that. I think she already left. Nina already left, but thank you for the donation. You know how else to support me if you want to. Other than that, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow around the same time. And we're going to continue on this path of learning, after we deal with what the news is all about, of learning about the mindset. So therefore, we can better be prepared on how to strategize in this. They've spent 50 years revamping Project 2025 to destroy everything we believe in. We can't just sit back and wait for this thing to unfold. We have to do something. Obviously, the Democrats don't have nothing. And they're still playing the same tricks. Cave in. The people, we're the only thing left. And if you give up, democracy's gone. So please fight. Don't be feckless like these 8 Republicans / 1 Democrat, 1 independent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. Much love to y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. As always, much love. And I'll see you when I see you.